What up? Let me see how I'm gonna do this. Let me see how I'm gonna do this. Should I do it like this? Should I do it like that? Yeah, let me see some of this nature out here. Let me see. Get some of this nature out here. Yeah, y'all see some of this nature? Oasis. What up, everybody? What up? Poppy Chulo in the building. I'm out here in the park. Man, this is a rough one right here. I recently lost my uncle Al, my father's older brother. So rest in peace to my uncle Al. And I wanted to go down memory lane a little bit about my uncle Al. Um, my uncle Al, Alphonse, he was a very important man, very powerful man. He was a music composer, and I can remember back when I lived with my grandmother in Washington D.C. back in the early '90s. Um, I used to see my uncle Al perform at the Kennedy Center, composing classical music, and to see a black man back in the '90s composing classical music, that was powerful. I was just in awe sitting in the front row at the Kennedy Center watching my uncle Al with this black stick in his hand composing the music. Beautiful music. This is what turned me on to classical music, my uncle Al, because he was a music composer. And I can also remember back in, it was like 1994. I used to be coming in from football practice, and in my grandmother's living room, my uncle Al be putting together the performances and everything, and he's having a meeting with all of his staff. It would be like 10 people sitting at the big dining room table, and he will always smile at me when I come in. They stop what they doing, and he say, "Hey, I got my football equipment on," and he'll talk to me for a second, and then I'll go upstairs, and my grandmother would be downstairs with him. They all having meetings, and I used to watch my grandmother. This was back in the day. She used to be putting together uh, programs for the show, faxing out programs all over the world. She had that fax machine running all day and night. She was working hard. And my uncle Al, man, I saw the whole process of putting together that venue because my grandmother used to help him do everything. So the end result is the show. And I will see my uncle Al with his suit on. He will come out. He will get a standing ovation. He'll greet the crowd. Then the music. He'll get his black stick and just start composing, man. To see my Uncle Al do that, man, a black man, on a stage full of white musicians and a crowd full of white folks. My Uncle Al had his black tuxedo on, his bow tie, composing the classical music. And he recently passed through the health issues. Uh, he was 73 years old. And the picture in the thumbnail is when I saw him at the airport, in Reagan Airport. That's back when I was working there. This was maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And I remember seeing my Uncle Al walking to the airport. So I walked up on him and played a prank on him. He was walking with a laptop in his hand. So I walked up behind him and was like, "Hey, man, you got $10?" He was like, "No, I don't have no money. Go ahead on." So I walked up on him like I was going to snatch his his laptop out of his hand. And he reached back and like he was gonna swing on him. I'm like, Uncle Al, don't hit me, man. And he looked, he was like, "Hey, I said, man, I'm your nephew, man." And he said, "You Bo, right?" So he called me my younger brother. We look alike, but I'm the older brother. I'm my dad's oldest. So he was like, "You Bo, right?" I was like, "No, man, I'm Alan." So then we started laughing and stuff. I said, let's take a picture so I can send it to my dad. And that's the picture in the thumbnail. We took a picture and I sent it to my dad, man, and that was the last encounter interaction I had with my Uncle Al. Uh, he moved to Las Vegas, and he recently passed through the health issues. And uh, I lost my grandmother, his mother, last year, and he passed this year. I lost my uncle on my mother's side, well, earlier this year. So yeah, man, I'm I- I'm in my 40s now. So all of the uncles and aunties, grandparents, they're starting to pass now. Uh, my Uncle Al was 73. Um, left behind a beautiful family. My cousins, Prentice, Lauren, my Aunt Linda, and he got me into classical music. My Uncle Alphonse is the reason why I like to go to watch live classical music, because I can remember when I was 12 years old watching him be be a composer, compose that beautiful music. And funeral arrangements hasn't been sent out to us yet, but I'm going to pay my respects to my uncle, and I wish I had a chance to spend more time with him, to talk to him and really do an interview with him, and and go through his whole journey of being a musician and how he got to where he is to be able to compose music. I know he was in the music musical union in Washington D.C., but I would like to know his journey, and document his journey, do some interviews with him. But I missed out on that. Maybe I can interview um, my Aunt Linda or one of his children to get some document some of his journey so I can share it with you guys. But my Uncle Al, I'm I miss him and wish I would have spent more time with him. and talk to him more. But now he's gone. So don't wait for it's too late before you want to spend time with your elders, because life is short, and when you get up in age like 70s, black men, if you don't take care of yourself, the health issues catch up with you. So rest in peace to my Uncle Al, musical composer. He left his mark in Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, for being a top composer. He was the leader of the musical union in Washington, D.C., uh, and he left behind a beautiful musical legacy. And giving my Uncle Al his flowers. So Poppy Chulo, the explorer, I'm out. I'm out here in the beautiful park. Uh, just relaxing. And I can remember being in England. I went to see some live classical music when I was in England, all because of my Uncle Al. I love classical music. Um, when I go to New York, I always catch a show if it's one available, classical music. And I don't have a favorite classical music band, but I see someone performing, I just go. I buy my tickets and I go. Um, Sometimes I'll even take my suit with me, and I'll be dressed up, and the whole aura of the classical music. I can remember after the show, everyone is talking, laughing, drinking champagne. They coming around with the trays with the champagne, cheese, crackers. People are dancing, having a good time. I was able to experience this through my Uncle Al. And I can remember being in there. I had one suit back then. I had my light blue suit on. Everybody back in the day had a light blue suit, especially if you was a youngster. I had my light blue suit on. I was in the venue, and I had a chance to sit front row and experience that. So I like to thank my Uncle Al, and I think I'm gonna go pay visits more to classical music venues to pay homage to him. So giving my Uncle Alphonse Pollard his flowers. I love you, Unc. Poppy Chulo, I'm out.